Okay. All right. We're here. Hi, everyone. Day 2 is officially about to be in the books. I'm looking rough. It's been a really long day, but we're here. I'm back with my notes. We have moved over to a little yellow notepad instead of my big white book. And I have to say, this is taking a whole level of commitment that I didn't even know I had. It has been such a long day, but I'm here and we're only on day 2 and I feel like it's day 10 already. But I could not sleep last night because I was so excited about this topic today, but I refused to get out of bed to go make videos. So we're here. I also have to say I hate myself for how many times I said yesterday. Can you guys not let me do that? Like, please roast me for how many times I say That is ridiculous. It was so bad. So we're going to try not to do that today. But sometimes my brain starts going so fast and is kind of like the placeholder. So yeah, I'm going to count how many times I do it today. Anyways, also, look at this. Note to self. You are doing great. You're doing great. We all need that reminder sometimes. I know I definitely do. So anyways, let's get the show on the road. We are here to talk about unrealistic expectations and why I hate vettings and trials so much. Ear itch. Hold on. So I feel like a lot of you probably hate vettings and trials just as much as I do. I know there are so many conversations that go on about this, so we're just gonna dig right in. I don't know what that was. That wasn't a dig, but okay. So we'll start first with trials. Trials are the bane of my existence. And not because I do not want you to come try my horse. Yes, come try my horse. But there are so many moments that make me hold my breath, and I worry every single time when I set up a trial if it's going to go just like the 20,000 other ones I've already done. Once in a while somebody surprises me. Once in a while. Sometimes. It's not often though. So the first issue is people just having zero respect for anyone's time. I really want to start charging a lesson fee for when people come, and I feel like that would really weed out the tire kickers and who's coming to just try horses for fun, because why do people do that? I have literally had that happen, and I'm like, what is this random hair doing here? Anyways, why are you trying a horse for fun? Like, just go try some horses? No, unacceptable, not cool. So time wasting, it's just like we have lives surprisingly and stuff to do and horses and lessons and other trials. Like, I don't have time to just give you basically a free lesson. And when I say give you a lesson, it is basically giving you a lesson, because I know people get offended by this, but when you come ride my horse, and most of the time they're baby horses, but even if it's a packer, I'm going to walk in the ring with you obsessively and walk you through the ride and tell you what you need to be doing on my horse, because let's remember, it is still my horse till you sign the contract and take it off my property. So, well, technically once you sign the contract, it's on my property. It's your horse. But anyways, that's not the point. We're getting into liability there. So, there's the again. Oh my gosh, it's happening. We're going to keep going. So, yeah, I'm going to basically teach you how to ride my horse. And I don't care if you're a professional and you want to get salty with me about it and tell me I don't need to be told how to ride. Yes, you do, because you don't know my horse. You don't know the things that he likes and what his quirks are. And that's why you're coming to try him, because you're trying to see if you guys get along. But no, you can't come and shorten your reins all the way up to his ears and scissor his mouth when he doesn't even know, or seesaw or scissor, whatever. Scissor was weird. Seesaw his mouth. Oh boy. Wow. That was not PG. Okay. Anyways, seesaw his mouth. That's not going to work. He literally doesn't even know what contact is yet. I don't ride any of my babies with any contact until they first understand how to move forward off leg. But that'll be a whole nother conversation. So don't be offended when I'm trying to help you ride my horse. So then the next thing that drives me absolutely bananas is when they bring multiple people with them. I don't understand that. I don't understand why you have to show up with your whole crew. Like, is it for moral support or something? We're not scary. You don't need everybody with you. You need you and your trainer. And I always ask for video before people show up. I guess I need to start asking for video of their trainer too, because I have had people that their trainer rides worse than them. That's a terrifying thought, right? Because that's who's training you. You just must have some natural feel and talent, because it's definitely not being instilled by your trainer. Because when your trainer leans up the neck at my baby horse who just started jumping, it's already terrifying enough to let people jump your baby horse that you don't even know. or even people you know for that matter. So you lean up the neck at a cross rail and then catch him in the mouth and then land on the back of that jump and rip his face off. No, by the way, those people were asked to leave immediately. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. Like, unless the horse is literally taking off with you, don't do that. Sit still, be quiet, and let the owner tell you how they want you to handle that because it is their horse. So showing up with multiple people, I always ask for video first, like I said, but need to ask for the trainer too. So I ask for video because I want to ensure that it's going to be a good fit. Let's not waste anybody's time. If I see the way you ride and I know it's not going to work, no, it's just, let's not even go there. So then they show up with multiple people and everybody wants to ride the horse. Why does everybody need to ride the horse? The person that is looking to buy the horse is the only person that needs to try them. Okay, maybe the trainer too, I understand that, but we're not having 4 different people, your friend and the person who might ride him and this person. Like, what is that? That is like taking somebody, like if I went on a date with 4 different people in one night, yeah, by the second or third person, you're not getting the best version of me anymore because I'm tired and I'm drained and I don't feel like answering the same questions asked in different ways, because that's pretty much what happens. Everybody has a different way of riding and everybody makes their own mistakes and things, and that's really stressful and tiring for a baby horse. Tiring for us too, sitting there dealing with the trial. So those are never the people that end up buying. They really aren't. And honestly, I don't want that horse to go to them anyways, because if they found that to be acceptable, I don't know what they find to be acceptable. And I have had groups like that show up and they were just the most uncomfortable group to be around. Not a fun experience. I'm having PTSD just reliving that right now. So on that same note, when those people show up and literally want to jump a 2-foot course, and I'm like, this baby horse that I sent you video of has only jumped a single cross rail in his life, or a handful of cross rails with our professionals or junior riders who have been consistently working with them with us on the ground. So no, I don't know the way you ride. I don't know what's going to happen. Are you going to lean up his neck? Are you going to support? No, you can try him for the things that he already does. And it's scary to let new people jump your baby horse. It's scary to let anybody jump your baby horse. So that's always terrifying. And that goes along with the people who say they want green. I literally express that in the post. They reach out knowing that, and then they get there and I'm like, you are a crossrail rider. Tell me where you thought that was a good idea. Or they are coming to try a horse for their 10-year-old that just started jumping. They're trying a 4-year-old. And I get it. Some 4-year-olds have excellent brains, but like, why was that a good idea? Really, there are plenty of other horses you need to be looking at, not a 4-year-old that just started jumping. And I get that everyone wants to grow old with a horse and all of the above, and I'm not saying green on green can't work, but it has to be a very specific program for that to work. So trials drive me mad. And then if the trial wasn't mortifying and it actually went well and they actually listened to you and they rode the horse well and all of the above, and then they want to try them 3 more times. Like, what? I mean, I guess I understand wanting to make sure that you're still going to click and that it wasn't that we prepped the horse, which we don't, but 3 more times? Like, nobody has time for that. This is the biggest time waster ever. It's exhausting for everybody. And I will tell you, most of those people don't end up buying the horse anyways. They always are time wasters. So I'm not saying that it doesn't work out. I have had a few, very few, where they've come to try a second time, but there's normally very valid reasons, and I agree, and we make it happen. But these are the reasons I'm going to start charging. I really am going to start charging because it just gets completely ridiculous. And when they show up and their video does not match them in the slightest, and they're like, oh, I haven't ridden in 2 years. What was the point of me asking you for that video if you're going to send me something from 2 years ago and you haven't ridden in 2 years? Like, whose bright idea was that? Yeah. So, and then to top that off, like I said, the people who say they want green and then they go, oh, he's too green for me. He's too green for you. We talked about the fact that he literally just started jumping. I don't know what kind of green you were envisioning he was, like this color green or like grass green. I don't understand. Like, green is green. if he was jumping courses and I stated that and he had a full lead change and it had been to a show, that's a specific type of green. But when I literally told you he walks trot canters and just started going over a jump, there's not much left to the imagination of what kind of green he is. So that just blows my mind. Yeah, so trials. And then my last point on that is, I feel like I already said my last point, but my last point is then the people that want to take them off property for a trial. I get it, guys. I really do, because I know when I'm looking for a horse for a client, I'm definitely going to take that offer if somebody's going to give it, but I'll ask, you know, just because some people are okay with it, but I'm not going to expect that. I'm not going to be upset if you won't allow that, because that is like me saying, hey, can I just go take your Lamborghini for a drive for like a week uninsured? And, you know, even if it's insured, it doesn't matter, because even if you're going to pay for the damages, I still either have a broken car or it has issues or something, or you're going to be dishonest about it anyways. So no, I'm sorry, it doesn't work. And it's not me being fishy, but I just can't risk that one training day goes completely backwards. I don't know what you're going to do. You know how many situations can arise with a baby horse, a horse in general? Are you going to handle it properly when he has a spook? Are you going to handle it properly if he has his first stop because they're babies and it happens and you probably rode him improperly to it or didn't give him the opportunity to see it before jumping something new, or so many things. And that's terrifying to me. And then gosh forbid they get hurt or something happens. Are you going to be honest with me? Are you going to tell me what really happened? Are you going to take care of it? Are you just going to send him back hurt? Like, you know, too many things. And so I don't do that. I'm sorry that I don't do that. I know not a lot of people like it and they always want to call me fishy. I'm not fishy. I have really good reasoning. And if, you know, people would just ask me why, I'm happy to explain why, but they get so short and grumpy. I'm like, all right, go buy somebody else's horse that's going to let you take it on trial. Go for it. Try and find somebody who's going to let you take their 3 or 4-year-old on trial. Good for you if you can. And maybe there are people who are watching this video, maybe you're one of those people, and good for you. That gives me anxiety. Not happening. So now we move forward to the people that actually are pleasant trials, right? And they didn't over talk their ability. They're actually trying something that was fitting for them. They were honest. They sent me video, all the positive stuff, right? Pretty much everything I just described, the opposite of, right? So they come, they try the horse, and I have to say, the off video people really are my favorite. I just feel like they just know what they want. They know what they need. They know what they're ready to spend. They're ready to do it timely, and those really always are my favorite. I'm not saying that I haven't had people who've come to try that I absolutely love. I can think of plenty off the top of my head, but higher percentage towards the off video buyers. You guys know who you are. Love you. So yeah, I really just did that. I really just did the like old school heart thing, but yeah. So now we move on to vettings, right? Because some of them just buy and don't want to vet, and that's awesome. Love that. Gives me a little anxiety that you're not going to turn around one day and try to tell me that something that you did to the horse or something that was there, because again, I don't have x-ray eyes, that you're going to then try to tell me it's my fault, because I've had this happen. Like 1, the horse was sound with me. 2, you've had the horse for so long, so many things can happen. Like literally the moment that horse gets on the trailer, something could have already happened. So it happened. Wow. Doesn't mean it happened with me. So yeah, I kind of do prefer vettings, but based on the way they always go, then I hate vettings. So let's talk about that. This video is so not going to be 15 minutes. I really told myself 10 to 15 minutes. It's not happening. It's going to be 30, but I'm here. So vettings. The most unrealistic expectations for vettings, it drives me nuts. And this goes for 95% of vettings. I mean, there's a very small 5% that it actually goes not even well. Like, I'm not even talking about the vetting itself. It's the people. And then some vets, I've had vets literally put me in tears. I once did a 4-hour vetting for a basic pre-purchase. It was literally for like a $4,500 horse. And they vetted the crap out of it, the actual crap out of it. And I'm not saying, hey, look, $4,500 to one person is a lot, and to some people it's not. To me, money is money no matter what. So even if you're spending $1,500 on a horse, if you want the protection of a full vetting, go for it. That's not what I'm saying by any means. But I'm just saying a horse can literally have the most perfect vetting and then go hurt itself the next day. It also can have the most awful vetting and be sound for the rest of its life with zero maintenance. So for me, vettings can be really null and void most of the time. I go off of its history, like its soundness history and what it's done so far and how it's held up. And for me, when I'm buying a horse, I always say what's its maintenance, what keeps it happy, what's its program. That's the professional way to find out about a horse, not to go, does he require any maintenance? We don't want to have to inject anything's hocks. Like, okay, I get that at a young age, but when we're talking about anything 8 and over that's been in consistent programs, yeah, it might need that. Just like humans, we all take Advil, we all do those things. We do our maintenance. Anyways, that's another topic. So we get into the vetting, right? And in my contract, I'm very specific about that. If you're using your vet or my vet, it's your choice. I'm happy to have it be my vet. And obviously I disclose if this vet has seen this horse or not. But I hate when people are like, have they seen this horse before? Okay, but he doesn't have x-ray eyes. So even if he has looked at the horse before, it literally doesn't make a difference. He is vetting what today is. And that's another thing that's in my contract. That vetting stands for today. That horse could go out and do something tomorrow and it has nothing to do with the vetting anymore. So I don't get why people don't understand that part. But so the worst part about vettings, vet gets there, they're always late. They're always late. And we don't get paid to stand around for vettings. And I'm gonna say that a little louder for the people in the back. We don't get paid to sit there for the vettings. And I know some people will say, yeah, but when you're making money on the horse, that's paying you. No, it's not. No, it's not, because when you don't end up taking the horse, no, and I stood there for however long. A simple basic pre-purchase should take no longer than an hour at absolute most. There's no reason for it to take that long. I mean, we're talking about basic palpations, flexions, hoof testing, neurological tests, whatever, and then that's it, and then if you even decide to do a few x-rays, okay, 2 hours at most for everything, blood pulling, whatever. But when vettings will go on for 3 hours and they pull their shoes and we weren't given the heads up and people get so fishy when I'm like, hey, are you taking x-rays? And they don't want to tell me. And I'm like, I'm not trying to, what do you think I'm going to do? I can't change how the x-rays are going to go, but I need to have an idea if how long I need to set for this. And in other words, how long you're going to waste my time for, because anyways, we won't go there. I get a little salty about things like that because so many of those situations. But I need to know if the shoes are getting pulled, because I need to set that up with my farrier to have shoes put back on, because when you don't end up taking that horse and I have another trial set up, I need the shoes back on. Or what if that horse doesn't do well with its shoes off and now it's going to be foot sore and now you've prolonged everything? Or maybe, yeah, you end up taking the horse, but still, I need to know these things. So they get all weird about that. But if you decide to do x-rays or whatever, that's fine. But please, a heads up, por favor. There was the again, but I think I'm doing pretty good. I feel like that's only like my third so we're doing good. But so the vetting, right? And I know every vet is a little bit different and everybody has a different interpretation. But guys, can we please be realistic on what you're buying the horse for and what a vetting is? I don't pass a vetting, just so you know. I don't even pass flexions. If somebody tried to pick my leg up like that, I'm sitting on the floor. I'm literally gonna sit on the floor with my legs tucked and be like, nope, it's not happening. We're not doing this. Not playing, not my game. I quit. I'm sitting this one out, tapping out. No, because what does that tell you? If you hold my leg in that position, it's gonna go numb, and when you put it back down, I'm going to fall to the floor. It doesn't mean that I can't go jump around and I can't go run half a mile, whatever. I mean, I can't. I'm very out of shape and I'm gonna get winded. But that's not the point. So I don't know what flexions really tell people. Unless the horse really has an awful flexion, then okay. But whatever, flexions, okay? None of my horses I've ever bought have I done flexions on them. Just saying. My personal horses, other than my big time horses, and just because for the sake of vetting. So, and that goes with x-rays. X-rays really don't tell you much unless there's a really bad flexion and then it gives you a reason to then x-ray. But I'm cool with it. I get it. These are just my personal views. And don't even get me started on the kissing spine topic. That's for another day. But you have to be realistic that vettings are to give you an idea. And somebody in my comment section said this the other day, and I was so happy to see somebody say this, because vettings are to give you an idea of what you're working with. If you are able to manage it, if you have the finances, and that is something that you can deal with. It's what you can deal with and what you can't. Everything comes, with baggage. Some less than others. Some come with literally zero baggage and they require all the maintenance in the world, and some have the worst x-rays ever and require zero maintenance. Some horses have a terrible flexion and a beautiful x-ray, and some have an awful x-ray and a beautiful flexion. There are so many different ways that this can go. So it's always those people that drive me nuts that pass because of a 2 out of 5 flexion. Take an x-ray of it. Guess what? You're probably not going to find anything. Chances are you're not. And on the off chance you do, you have to be realistic. Is it something that's really going to affect the fact that you only want to jump 2-6 for the rest of your life? If that horse has already been doing that, or maybe it's green and I get that, then it's a risk. Like, is he going to hold up doing that? But okay, so then there's maintenance. There's so many things you can do. And these are the things that you have to be realistic on. I should put that on the top of this video, because that's the word of the day. Let's be realistic. And people get really offended by that. But that's why I ask, what are your goals? And when we start a vetting, I always talk to that person before the vetting. And I know my vet asks this too. And I hope that other vets ask as well. I think they do. But what are your goals? Because my vet's really realistic on what you plan to do. If you plan to be a 3-foot competitive horse, okay. Not that we're going to vet it differently, but we're going to have different considerations in mind. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't vet all horses the same, but that's a little bit different when with a horse that you plan to jump 2 foot or 2-6 for the rest of its life. I mean, it is. It's just different. Is it going to be a pleasure horse? Is it going to be a trail horse? Are you going to be competing? I mean, and the people, again, this will be another topic, but the maintenance thing, not wanting to do maintenance. I just don't understand that. I understand not wanting extreme maintenance, but regular, injecting its hocks, injecting its stifles, like small stuff like that once a year, depending on what that horse is doing for you. For me, I break it up of what that cost is going to be, and I break it up in all the months, and I basically add it like a part of my board. That's the way that I think about it. And that's the way I try to break it down to my clients. But so yeah, vettings are the bane of my existence, because it's always the question, is this person gonna be realistic on what they're looking for? Are they going to lose their mind when they see something small? Are they gonna listen to reason? Are they gonna get the second opinion? Or are they just gonna, nope, that's not working for me, and pass for something that it wasn't even worth passing for? And what's funny is, every time I've had those situations where we vet one and it has some stuff come up and I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Every time. Those horses have sold to people, and oop, there goes my pen. Those horses have sold to people, and 4 years later haven't needed an inch, not a drop of maintenance, and have held up. And it's crazy, because they got them for a great deal, because once that vetting happens, then I end up having to price them less, because people are just uneducated, they're just uneducated, and it's sad. So I'm hoping that through my videos, and I know I'm just one person, but maybe we can spread the education, because a lot of these people are amateurs, and I don't mean it in a bad way, amateurs. I mean, they're just they're amateurs in the business. They don't know any better, and they probably have somebody who is ill advising them. But the ones that are pros are the ones that always concern me. Like, I had a horse that had the most beautiful vetting, really, he had the most beautiful vetting. And this is why it's now in my contract that when you do a vetting, if you decide to pass, that vetting now belongs to me, because I have had so many people do a vetting and they pass because of something so stupid. Literally, my vet tells them, you're never going to have an issue, and they choose to pass. That's fine. You don't have to pay for what you don't want to pay for. But the x-rays are now in existence. They're already there. You've already paid for them. It was your choice to do that, and you don't want to give them to me because you're being salty because you chose to pass on the horse for your own personal reason. I don't get that. No, I'm not splitting the cost with you. I'm not the one that chose to vet the horse. I'm not the one who chose to get the x-rays. But now that you've done them, can you just give them to me? Otherwise they're literally going to sit in the air, and do nothing. So why not just let me have them? So it's in my contract now. So for anybody who buys from me, you're signing that over, and it is what it is. So because the worst thing is to then move on to other buyers and be like, yeah, he has a full vetting, but I don't have anything from the vetting. Oh yeah, no, it was beautiful x-rays, but I don't have the x-rays. Yeah, that doesn't look good. That never looks good. So, because then they always think something actually happened in the vetting. And in this one occasion, and it's happened many other times, nothing came up in the vetting. Everything was wonderful. Like, the flexions were lovely. The horse was excellent. I'm thinking of him right now, and I'm going to message that person at the end of the video and tell them they're being mentioned in this video, because the vetting was absolutely beautiful. And they passed because they said that he had a +1 flexion on front something, whatever. And I was like, where? Like, literally where? My vet and I were both standing here. We, till this day, were floored. Well, that next the person who ended up buying him was the luckiest duck ever, because they got an entire beautiful vetting. And I send the flexion videos immediately after the x-rays, and my vet had said everything was good. And so immediately after the flexions, I send the flexion videos because I video everything for them. And my vet said everything was good. So that's why we moved on to x-rays, which took like an hour and a half to do the extensive x-rays after the night before they told me they weren't going to do x-rays unless something came up. So for me, when the flexions were all good and the palpations and everything, I was like, all right, we're good to go. I didn't expect anything less. And then we're doing a million x-rays. I didn't plan for that. It was so hot outside. We were literally sweating like crazy. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, I hadn't eaten because I didn't plan to be there that long. I had other things set for that day. And so that was really obnoxious. His shoes got pulled, this whole ordeal. And then they end up passing because of a +1 flexion. That literally did not happen. I don't know where they saw that. So I don't know what the heck. And then what's funnier about that, and I feel like this trainer is going to know if they happen to see this video, then I literally find out 2 days later they end up buying a horse for more money that hadn't been ridden. Mine had been ridden, had been lightly jumped, free jump video, like all of that. And I was friends with this other trainer. They buy that horse with no riding video, no anything. It was priced higher than mine, and we're like talking like $8,500, and didn't vet it. Tell me how that makes sense, guys. Like, I hope you guys make it to this point of the video just to laugh at that with me. Like, this is the stuff I go through. And I plan to make a video. There's actually going to be tons of videos about the craziest stuff that has been said to me, asked, and done. Because how does that make sense? Like, yeah, still to this day, I have no idea. But the person who ended up with him, I love her. She is doing so great with him. And she got an entire vetting to look at. And he's wonderful and sound. Even if he did have a +1 flexion, like, really? It x-rayed lovely, because you x-rayed literally every part of his body. So I have no idea. This is why I hate vettings. This is literally a small portion of why I hate vettings. And once in a while, you have a great vetting that goes really straightforward. And my favorite people are the ones that either are vetting the horse or the horse already got vetted. And they're, again, like I say, what's the maintenance? What did the vet say? What are the thoughts on it? Those are my favorite. Like, realistic, again, that is what it comes down to. And it's just like with the kissing spine thing, okay? Like, kissing spine can be maintained. To what level is it? People hear kissing spine and it's immediate for them. It's like, no, kissing spine isn't always just a death sentence. A lot of horses have it and you don't even know it. A lot of people freaking have so many back issues and we don't even know it. So why are we so harsh to judge them? Like, one of my biggest jumpers had kissing spine and we didn't even know because never even had issues. And I don't even remember, one day we ended up taking back x-rays. I think it was something to do with saddle fitting and whatnot, and had kissing spine. And we were like, well, there's that. So basically what I'm getting at is you have to be realistic for the 20,000th time. You have to take into consideration what you actually need, what you're willing to do maintenance-wise, and what you can work with. Go into vettings with that kind of mindset. Don't give us anxiety and flip out from one flexion. I'm getting real tired of going through vettings like that. But, you know, I'm also, again, what's meant to be is meant to be. So when those people don't buy and they pass on something stupid, they just afforded somebody else the opportunity to have an entire paid for vetting, and they end up with that horse. So, and they appreciate them a lot more and are way more understanding of how this actually works. But so hold on while I check my notey notes, because I'm pretty sure that I touched on everything, and I think I did pretty good, and we're almost at 30 minutes. So thank you everybody for watching. I'm so excited. This one was really fun. Needed to get that one off my chest. And if anybody has any more ideas for me, put them in the comments. And remember, you're doing great. Bye.